Hey everybody, it's Jessica. So today I'm doing something a little different. I am decorating my grad cap. This is something I didn't do for my bachelor's degree graduation, but because I just didn't have time really. I mean, my graduation was at the end of a very hectic week of finals and packing up my college apartment and all of that. And I just didn't have any good ideas 6 years ago when I finished my BA. But for my master's degree, I had an idea to take a quote from one of the novels that I worked on for my master's project. It's called North and South. It's a 19th century British novel by Elizabeth Gaskell. I always recommend it, and if you don't want to read it, I believe there is a BBC miniseries that last time I checked was on Netflix, and I highly recommend the miniseries too. I don't always love adaptations of my favorite books, but that one's pretty good, so I recommend it. Anyway, the quote is, "But the future must be met, however stern and iron it be." And it's a little, dark, I know, but I like the quote. It's towards the beginning of the novel where she's from, the south of England, a rural area, kind of, and has a very nostalgic view of that, and then she has to move to the north of England, which is very industrial and not romantic at all. So that quote is from the beginning of them looking for housing in that area and all of that. So I felt like it was a good 2020 quote. Obviously this year has not gone as planned. Never would have seen some of the things coming that happened this year, so that's fun. So as far as actually decorating the cap, I got most of my stuff from Michael's. I got these pearl strands that have adhesive all along the back of them. They're all connected to each other. I'll link everything I used down below if I can find it still on the website. I also got these paper flowers. All of this stuff was, I think, generally from the graduation section of michaels.com. So those were my main decorative elements. I originally thought I was going to use scrapbook paper that I had, but I just decided to end up writing directly on the cap with a Sharpie metallic marker. I tested it out on the back of my bachelor's cap because it was not decorated and covered in dust. I'm sorry you had to see the covered in dust aspect of it. So yeah, I just went through and used the pearls. They didn't fit exactly correctly, which is what I thought they would, so I did have to trim off a little bit of each strand to make them fit, but they cut pretty easily, so that was good. Ended up sticking part of them accidentally to the scrapbook paper I was using as the backdrop for this video, so it ripped up the scrapbook paper a little. They are quite sticky, which is good because they have to stick to fabric, but just be careful with them. Then I went through with my Sharpie metallic marker, and these come in a lot of different colors. My boyfriend has a silver one that you saw, and then I bought a gold one from Michael's, and they also have bronze and pink and green and some other metallic colors. So these are really good for writing on dark surfaces, especially black, which is the color of at least college graduate caps. So some tips for writing on one of these: definitely try to hold the fabric a little bit. Just take your time, obviously. I regularly practice my handwriting just because, if you're familiar with my channel, I write in my planner as pretty as I can. Sometimes it doesn't work out. I don't always have the best handwriting, and I am definitely not a calligrapher, but I just wanted this to have my own personal touch. So you could do this with, letter stickers, or you could even print out a quote with a font that you really like, but I wanted to have it be my handwriting even if it is not perfect. So yeah, I would try to hold the fabric in place because it will kind of shift around as you run the marker over it. You could also trace this out with chalk or I don't know what else. If you have any recommendations for how to do a practice round on here, leave those below. But I just kind of freehanded it. The stern and iron part in big block letters could have been better, but I'm happy with it. And you could go over the lettering again with a second round of marker if you wanted it to be a little bolder. I kind of did that for some of the like block letters, but for the cursive I kind of just left it alone. I also found it really helpful to pick up my marker when I was doing the cursive parts, which I don't always do when I write cursive, and sometimes that results in mishaps in my planner and I get really messy cursive. There's a time when like I wrote anniversary and it was a mess because like of all the N's and the R's and the S's, it was pretty messy. But yeah, after I did the lettering, I went through with my flowers and glued those down. I don't remember off the top of my head what this glue is called. It's my boyfriend's. He does a lot of crafty stuff, probably more than I do. So I'll try to leave some glue linked below, but I think pretty much any glue would work. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I ended up adding some more flowers after the original clip because it looked a little sparse and I had some extra flowers anyway. And this is the final result. I'm really happy with it. It's not the most impressive, but it's also more than I did for my bachelor's cap. And because we are staying at home, I had some free time. I had a lot of time to think about it because I didn't have to cram it in before the graduation ceremony that was like right after my final exams. So I wanted to take this time to do some crafty stuff, and I really like how it turned out. It's going to be a nice keepsake. So let me know if you are decorating your grad cap, if you're graduating this year, or if you did in the past. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.